tell me you don't think that chewing is sexual. This is called a high chew, strawberry flavor. I started chewing it, and I reached climax in my teeth. I'm like, chew, 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 chew. Like a piece of gum that you kept sticking your teeth into, you know? And like, you know, just, that shit was fucked. I was like, this is cursed. Guess what? It's the right thing to do. Say you chew, it sounds so bad, but whoa, that was like I was having sex with that candy. Damn, I'm a fucking monster. But yeah, there's a fly stuck in the window. So look at him. Not that I'm happy that he's there. It's a fly. Fuck him. I remember when we die, they eat us, so I don't mind. Hey, what are you looking at, bro? Damn, he literally, what's it called? He got tense when I moved toward him. Hey, Moth, don't interrupt our conversation. So that's their anatomy. He just stands there, super still. Oh my gosh. Ew. He's gonna fly toward me. Let's see if they think or not. He's still rubbing his hands. Why did he do that? That should crease me the fuck out. If you think that's depressing. You know how they move? It's like they have a singular mind and purpose. Like they don't actually have a conscience. It's like they just skitter around. It's like, I'm just gonna walk this way. Yeah, he's gone. It's just disturbing though. God damn. Well, he went into the corner of the wall. Oh my gosh. I'll cut my own hair. I'm bored. Might as well do something with my time. Oh. I can never be without doing anything. Well, I can be, but it's pretty boring. Well, I can cut my own hair, but it's not a good idea. I mean, yeah, it's not a good idea, actually. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it does, but it's not like I need to cut it. You know what I mean? Let's just read the book. All right. So here is chapter 2 of I Owe You One by Sophie Kinsella. All right, let's read. I don't remember what happened in the first part. All right, chapter 2. The visitors are posh looking. Of course they are. My brother likes hanging out with posh people. Jake has always been ambitious, ever since he was a little boy. At first, he was just ambitious to be on the football team. Then, in his late teens, he started socializing with the rich crowd. And suddenly, he was dissatisfied with our house and our holidays, and even, one awful time, with Dad's accent. There was another huge argument. Mom got really upset. I still remember the sound of the shouting coming through the floor from downstairs. He worked as an estate agent in Fulham. until about 3 years ago when he started his own business, and there the poshness rubbed off on him even more. Jake likes being around blokes and brogues with identikit haircuts and raw voices. Basically, he resents the fact that he wasn't born in Chelsea, that he's not one of those pashos on the telly, partying with royalty and taking 6 holidays a year. But since he's not, he can at least spend all his time in pubs on the King's Road with guys called Rupert. These two men, stepping out of their Range Rover, clearly come from that crowd, with their polo shirts and deck shoes and tans. I find these types a bit intimidating, to be honest. I wonder why. I mean, just wearing a fucking shirt, some shoes, and they're just. I guess they're kind of a forward kind of thing. But you're assuming, I guess, on the dress. Let's see what happens. You don't like them, I guess, is what you're saying. Okay, moving on. To be honest, but I tell myself, chin up, Fixie. Go forward to greet them. I can see one eyeing up the shop with a critical frown, and I feel a defensive prickle. Okay, it's not the most beautiful shop front. It's a 1970s purpose-built structure, but the glass panes are gleaming, and the display of kitchen textiles looks great. We have a pretty good amount of space for a high street store, and we use it well. We have several display tables at the front and 3 aisles, and it all works. Hi, the taller one greets me. Clive Beresford. Are you Felicity? A lot of people hear Fixie and think Felicity. I'm used to it. Fixie. I smile and shake his hand. Welcome to Fars. Simon. The other guy lifts a hand as he lugs a heavy looking box out of the Range Rover. We found it. Good space you've got here. Yes, I nod. We're lucky. Not exactly Notting Hill, though, is it? Notting Hill? I echo, puzzled. Jake said the family business was in Notting Hill. I pressed my lips together. This is so Jake. Of course he said we were based in Notting Hill. He probably said Hugh Grant was a customer too. No, we're Action, I say politely. But you're planning to expand into Notting Hill soonish, presses Clive, as we head inside. That's what your brother told us. Expand into Notting Hill. That's total rubbish. I know Jake just wanted to impress a pair of strangers at a bar, but I can hear Dad's voice mad. Family first, Fixie. Maybe, I say pleasantly. Who knows? I usher them into the shop, then spread my arms around at all the saucepans, plastic storage boxes, and tablecloths. So this is us. There's a short silence. I can sense this isn't what they expected. Simon is peering at a display of mason jars. Clive takes a few steps forward and looks at a Monopoly set curiously. A moment later, a red bouncy ball drops on his head. Ow, he looks up. What the? Sorry, I say quickly. No idea how that happened. Shit, there must have been a stray one teetering somewhere. So, you're looking to turn into more of a high end deli? Simon seems puzzled. Do you stock any food at all? I felt another defensive prickle. I don't know what stories Jake's been telling him, but that's not my fault. Absolutely, I nod. Oils, vinegars, spices, that kind of thing. Please do put your box down. Perfect. He dumps the box on the front display chest, which we cleared in advance. Normally we'd go into the back room, but it's full of boxes of scented candles, which we need to unpack. Well, let me introduce you to what we do. We've sourced a range of olive oils, which are rather special. He says it in a posh way. That posh way. Rather special. Have a taste. As he speaks, both men are unpacking large bottles of olive oil from wooden boxes. Simon briskly lays out some dipping saucers, and Clive produces some pre-cut cubes of bread. Whoa, that's a little weird, huh? But whatever. So, back the page. Okay. He's talking about some oil estate in Italy, but I'm not listening properly. I'm staring at Hunger Reg. He's just walked into view, and his pockets are still filled with bouncy balls, stuff about whatever. His entire groin area looks massive and lumpy and just weird. Why didn't he get rid of them? I give him a furious eye roll, which means, why have you got still bouncy balls in your pockets? Greg immediately shoots back an urgent eye roll of his own, which clearly means there's a good reason, believe me. I don't believe him for a moment. Greg acts in good faith. No one doubts that. But his logic is random and unnerving. He's like a computer on its last legs that works perfectly until you decide to email your whole inbox to Venezuela. Would you like to have a taste? I abruptly realize Clive's field is over, and he's preferring red cubes and oil. As I dip and taste, I'm thinking, typical Jake setting up this meeting on the one day that Mom isn't in the shop. What does he think? That he can get past her beady eye? That she won't notice? Mom notices everything. Every sale, every refund, every email. Everything. Suddenly I notice that the two posh guys keep shooting surreptitious looks at glances at Greg's bulging groin area. I mean, I don't blame them. It's a pretty disturbing sight. Excuse Greg's strange looking appearance, I say with a relaxed laugh. He doesn't normally look like that, it's just that he hormone disorder. Greg cuts me off with an impressive nod. Passive nod, I'm sorry. And I nearly choke on my bread. Why? What does he even mean by hormone disorder? Nasty, Greg adds meaningfully. I'm used to Greg's idiosyncrasies, but sometimes he silences even me. Funny story, Greg adds, encouraged by the attention. My brother was born with only half a pancreas, and my mom, she's got this manky kidney. Thanks, Greg. I interrupt desperately. Thanks. The two smart guys look even more appalled, and Greg shoots me a self satisfied look, which I know means, saved things there, didn't I? For about the 100th time, I wonder if we could send Greg on a course. A course on not being Greg. Anyway, I say as Greg heads off, these olive oils are amazing. I'm not just being polite, it's true. They're rich and aromatic and delicious, especially the dark green peppery one. How much would they retail for? Prices are all laid out here, says Simon, handing me a printed document. I scan the figures and nearly fall over flat. Usually I'm pretty cool in situations like this, but I hear myself gasping. 95 pounds? Obviously, this is very much a luxury, high end product, says Clive smoothly. As we explained, it's a very special date, and the process is unique. But no one's going to spend 95 quid on a bottle of oil. I almost want to laugh. Not in this shop. Sorry. And when you open in Notting Hill, chimes in Simon, very different markets. We think that Notting Hill Family Deli is a great name, by the way. Wow, I actually read that with a good intonation. Except my accent's not great, of course, because I don't have that accent. Whatever, though. I try to hide my shock. The what? Our shop is called Farr's. It was named Farr's by our dad, whose name was Michael Farr. And it's never going to be called anything else. This is the olive oil we stock. Greg's voice takes us all by surprise. And he places a bottle of oil on the table. Costs $5.99. His prominent gray eyes survey the two posh guys. Just saying. Uh, ooh. Yes, says Simon after a pause. Well, of course, that's a rather different product from ours. Not to be rude, but if you both have a taste, you'll notice the difference in quality of the cheaper oil. May I? I notice how skillfully he's drawing Greg into the conversation. Now he's pouring out our $5.99 oil and dipping cubes of bread into it. As I taste, I can see what he means. Oil tastes thinner in comparison, but you have to know your customers. You have to know their limits. I'm about to tell Simon that our customers are a practical, pragmatic lot, and they're not a chance in hell they'll spend 95 quid on oil. When the door opens and I turn to see Jake striding in, he's an impressive sight. All he is, he's got Dad's firm jaw and Dad's twinkling eyes. and he's dressed in really nice clothes. Posh estate agent clothes. Navy blazer, tie, shiny expensive shoes, cufflinks. And at the very sight of him, I feel a rush of familiar feelings attacking me, like flapping ravens, inadequate, guilty, inferior, rubbish. This is nothing new. My big brother always brings these feelings out in me. And why shouldn't he? If I believe in anything as much as family first, it's be fair. I'm always fair and truthful, however painful it is. And the painful truth is that Jake is a success and I'm the failure. He's the one who started an import export business without a penny from anyone else. He's the one who made a mint on some brand of new seamless knickers that can be sold to a discount store. He's the one who has the flash car and the business cards and the nearly NBA. I'm the one who took a loan from mom, our inheritance, Jake always calls it, and tried to set up a catering business and failed, and who still hasn't paid the money back. I'm not the black sheep of the family. That would be glamorous and interesting. I'm just a stupid dumb sheep who still has a stash of dark green aprons under the bed, all embroidered with my logo, Mars Food. I sold everything else, but I couldn't get rid of those. And whenever I'm around Jake, I feel even more stupid and dumb, like literally dumb, because I barely